What is up guys, I'm back with another video. This time I'm gonna show you how I make my sub basses in Serum. Are you ready? Let's jump straight into the project. If you want to get hands on this preset, you can download it for free. The link is in the description down below. So we start by loading up Serum. Then I go to Oscillator A, I go to Analog, and I'll select the analog BG sine wave. Then we have something like this. Just a friendly reminder, you need to have good studio headphones or good studio speakers to really hear this, because we are working in that low range of the frequency spectrum. Just a friendly reminder. Okay, so we select analog BG sine wave. The most important thing when we are working with sub basses is that we need to turn off the random phase. And that basically means that every time the note hits, we don't get like some changes in the phasing of the oscillator. So I want to have like a consistent wave position, because I want to have like that really deep, punchy sub. Then I crank up the level. Then the next thing I want to do is that I want to set up the filter. So I go here and select the MG Low 24. And then I want to set up the drive. So I want to add like a little bit of distortion of that sine wave. So you might hear that there are being added some upper harmonics to the sine, and that's just makes the sine wave and the sub bass a little bit more audible on maybe smaller systems, smaller speakers. I also like to play around with this fat knob here, just increase that. One thing you should pay attention to when you are increasing the drive and the fat, then the volume is going to be louder of this sub bass. So look at the meters of Serum. If they're going into the red, you might want to turn down the master volume a little bit. Otherwise, you might get some unwanted digital clipping, some digital noise. You might hear that it's like clicking a little bit at the end of the sine, and that's because we want to add a little bit of release to the envelope 1. So basically the amplitude envelope. So I like to set this around 300 milliseconds. It depends on if you want to have a little bit of a tail of the sub bass. I want to have that. Pretty cool. So I could hear that I have like these upper notes here that are overlapping. So I'm just gonna remove those just for the simplicity's sake. I want to add a little bit of extra punch to the sub bass. So I can add a little bit of like a transient hit to the sub bass. And one way you can do this is that you can go to envelope 2, turn down the sustain, also the decay, and also turn down the release a little bit more. So you get like a really snappy, short kind of envelope. Then we're gonna assign the envelope to the course of oscillator A. And then we're gonna turn down the modulation amount to around 8. So right now you might hear that it's just being added a little bit of a transient punch to the sub. And we're basically playing around with the pitch. So if I turn this up the amount, it almost sounds like an 808 actually. So you really have to play around with this envelope 2 modulating amount to the coarse pitch of oscillator A to get the desired amount of transient hit. I like again to have it at around 8. That's where it just punches through a little bit more in my opinion. Again, I'm going to turn down the master volume a little bit. So this is basically how I will set up my sub basses most of the time in my tracks, because this is just like a solid foundation underneath my main bass, just to get like that extra subby punch and boom to my tracks. The next thing that I will do is that I will pull up an EQ. I use neutron free, and this is basically just to look how my sub is behaving in the lower range of the frequency range. So that kind of looks fine. We could reduce it a little bit. So that's basically just to check if I added too much of subbiness to the sub bass. So this is basically how I will do it. So I really hope you learned something from this. We could actually try to layer it if we want to do something extra to it. So we're gonna go to oscillator B. We can try to look for the basic shapes, and then I will go to wavetable position and try to find like a triangle wave. We can again put down the random phase, maybe put up the unison to 3, put detune down, put up the level, and then we're also going to route this to the filter. And maybe we could put this, let's start with just have it at like 0 octave. Okay, put it up. Okay, and then we need to also assign envelope 2 to the pitch, to the coarse pitch of oscillator B. Put it to 8. And then we can play around with the volume of oscillator B. So this is basically just to get a little bit more like extra stuff happening in the upper range of the sub. Maybe it's not necessary if you have 2 basses going on. Maybe they will conflict a little bit. Then I will just turn off the oscillator B. This is just to show what you can do to add a little bit extra spice to your sub basses. So let's try to play it, and then I'm gonna mute it to hear what it does. Let's look at the meter of neutron 3 to see what it actually does. So you can see it adds a little bit of extra texture in the upper range. Let me turn it off. It's just a subtle thing, but to be honest, I actually want just to have like this like sub bass here. So I'm just gonna mute this. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you learned something from this Serum tutorial. This is just how I do my sub basses. I really hope it inspired you to how you can create your own sub basses. If you like the video, it means so much to me if you will smash that like button or even subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to click on that notification bell, because then you will get notified every time I get a new future video up on the YouTube channel. If you want to support me even further, you can go and check out some of my sample and preset pack on my web shop. The link is in the description down below. And then as an extra thing, I have actually launched a Discord server for producers and artists alike, a place where we can meet up and share our music ideas, get some feedback, and generally just support each other. And if you want to join this, you can just click the link in the description down below. I would love to see you there. Okay, guys, I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.